In this video, I'm gonna make a floating wine stand out of pallet wood and I'm gonna try and sell it. That's Big Blay and welcome to my bomb shelter basement workshop where I'm trying to make more things to sell. After the disappointment of my phone stand beer mats not selling a few videos ago, even though they're only 99p, I'm determined this year to figure out easy woodwork projects that are gonna sell on the UK market. So I've actually done floating wine stands before. It was actually one of my 4th ever woodworking videos back in February 2023. But it's been so long that I'm going to do some test versions first to make sure they work, and I can show you all the measurements in case you want to make your own, and then I'm gonna do some fancy versions to try and sell online. For the test ones, I'm gonna use this big chunk of wood, which did come off a pellet, so I'm not technically cheating. I'm such an idiot. I cut 3 different angles because it felt like when I got to the back section, I was hitting metal as if there was some nails embedded. But I forgot to move my fence, so I've just been cutting into it. What a dickhead. Now I've got 2 different pieces chopped, time to stick some holes in them. Okay, now I've got 2 holy, slanty pieces. All I need to do now is test them out with a bottle of wine. Now we have the wine, it's time to test it, and this is normally where it goes wrong. Here we go. Test number 1. Yeah, success! No failure, awesome. Right, number 2, here we go. It's not helping that my bench is so wobbly and shaky, but yes! I did a thing and it went right for once. If you want to make one of these yourself, here are the details. This one is the 30-degree version, so this cut, the slanty cut, is 30-degree angle. The width of it is 4 centimeters. If you make it too thin, that will affect it. The length is 30 centimeters, so the longest length from the top to this part here, 30 centimeters. The point I drilled the hole is 19 centimeters. Again, where you drill the hole does affect if it'll stand up or not, as I found out in my first video. Next is the 45-degree angle. Because it is a steeper angle, it has to be shorter overall. Now, the longest distance from the top to the bottom is 23 centimeters. Again, this one's 4 centimeters wide, and I had to drill the hole at 15 centimeters. If I went through those numbers a bit too fast, or like me, you need more of a visual representation, I'm going to put an image on the screen now with a bit of a diagram. You're probably going to have to pause the video to either take a screenshot or write all the numbers down or write it in your own way. So I'm going to freeze for a second. And we're back again. And now that I've tested it works and shown you how to make your own, I'm going to make a much more interesting one to sell on Etsy using the scraps from my Palletwood nest of tables. Now, using pallet wood that has already been stuck together is kind of cheating, so here's a quick montage of some of the stuff I did. If you want to watch the whole thing, I will stick the video on the screen and in the description. Now, since doing that video, this basket of wood has lived upstairs, which means it's nice and dry, but it also means some of the pieces have cracked and warped. So I'm gonna pick the pieces I want to use, straighten them all up, and start sticking them together. Got all my pieces, time to assemble, but let me explain why I've just cut some strips. I'm using Endgrain Palletwood cut into like a patchwork pattern. Now, even though this stuff has been upstairs in my living room for quite a few months and it has dried out quite a lot, it's probably not all the way dry. And because it is patchwork palletwood, there's potentially different woods in here as well, so if it dries any further, it could develop massive cracks, like my nest of tables. And I'm selling these, so I want them to last a long time. And if you had one of these for a while, and then suddenly a crack appeared in the patchwork across here, the bottle of wine's gonna fall, and that'd be a disaster. So what I'm gonna do is put the biggest piece here so it almost fully covers the hole. Then I'm gonna put the strip of wood down the center, because when I drill through this strip of wood will go continuously up there and it'll give it a spine which gives it strength. Who's an idiot? This guy. I automatically cut it at 45 degrees, no idea why, and I've cut into my fence again. I made my blocks, I cut my slants, I drilled my holes, we're nearly there, apart from, because of my cheap Amazon wobbly drill press, some of the holes are rough, I need to sort that out. And because we're using pallet wood, there's lots of imperfections. I would prefer to fix these with epoxy, but that would mean starting from scratch, running them through the table saw again. If they sell well, that's what I'll do next time. But for now, I'm just gonna use PVA, sand them down, coat them, get them online for sale. This is why I struggle with regular content, because I've changed my mind. I'm gonna use epoxy, and that's probably gonna add at least 2 extra days, maybe 3, but there's sections like that where there's a big gap in there and there's bits on the front that look horrible, and I'm trying to sell these to get as much money as possible, so they need to be as good as possible. Epoxy time! 24 hours later and we've got a problem with the epoxy. In half the sections it's fine, it's covered the gaps and it's got a smooth little bubble over the top. But in the other half of the sections, it's just soaked into the pallet wood and there's still imperfections and holes and stuff like that exposed, which means each side is gonna need 2 coats. It takes at least 24 hours for them to dry. That's gonna add 4 days to this project. Annoying. As usual, I have problems. 2 problems. The epoxy was not drying quick enough, so I put it on a little platform and raised it above my radiator to hopefully dry it quicker, and it's just split all the wood. And it's still not dry! Look at the state of that on the side. And this section here is just split all the way down there. Oh, look at the top section. Look at the top section there. Whoop. But the second problem is that the epoxy's still not dry. It's still, still sticky in places. Here's the plan. I'm gonna choose the least damaged version and I'm gonna finish it for the video so you can see how it turns out. And then I'm gonna fix the other 3 in my own time so that I can still sell them online. And then I'm going to do a different version of the floating wine stand in about a month's time, probably out of plywood. And I'll tell you if the other one's sold or not. How does that sound for a plan? Well, it sounds like you've just rescued the video, Chris. If you know what happened to my epoxy, please let me know, because some sections were rock solid, like they're supposed to be, and some sections were still wet and squidgy, but hopefully we can just sand the crap out of them. After all the problems with the epoxy, I'm so impressed with how this turned out. The small rough patches I was worried about, they look interesting now. The varnish has gone into it, and it's given it more texture, it's given it more style. That's a happy accident. The areas where I overcooked the epoxy do look a bit weird, because you've got these like super flat sections, but then rough sections right next to it. The paint isn't amazing in the hole. I can't get a paintbrush in there, so maybe I've got to figure something out around that. But I've just noticed my epoxy experiment actually worked. So when you're looking at it, like this looks like it's black, but at an angle, it's reflecting blue with the tinge of the stuff I put in the epoxy. There is also sections down this center strip where epoxy's seeped into the middle bit, and the colors are slightly different, but I think that makes it look interesting. So you've got all that going on, and it's still patchwork, like it's still little squares. You're looking at it, it's like, oh, it's kind of cool, but you look closer, and yeah, different blocks of wood with grain going in different directions. I'm really happy with how this turned out. But because of all the issues, I haven't had time to list this online. Even if I did, it wouldn't give it enough time to sell. So like I said earlier in the video, I will do another version in about 4 weeks' time, and then I can give you an update, let you know if it was actually successful or not. But sometimes it takes a lot longer for this stuff to sell. But this year I am going to be doing a lot more videos where I make stuff to try sell online, and every time I do one of those videos, I'll give you an update of what sold and what hasn't. And that brings us to the end of the video. So if you watched this far, give yourself a pat on the back. If you've got any tips, questions or suggestions, stick them in the comments below. If you could subscribe, that would be awesome, and I will see you in a video next week.